Well, hey kids, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean. I'm here with another episode of mayoral candidates. And this is a gentleman that I didn't know was running, but I found out through a friend of mine, Morgan. This is Riley Murphy. How are you doing, sir? Fellow musician, right?
Fellow musician and arts all around. I just got out of the radio industry.
Oh, did you? Right, and I met you because you were at 105.
That's it.
Yeah, we ran into each other at the Horizon Elementary, which was kind of good. We're here at Monty's, which is kind of home base for me. So, first off, Riley, why do you want to be mayor?
Yeah, I've noticed a decline in city standards over these past few years. I'm sure many of us have. And instead of sitting back complaining about it, I thought it's time to do something. I have a little bit of a platform through the radio station that I worked at and a lot of leadership experience under my belt. So I'm hoping to take this to the next level.
And I should say, 105 is a not-for-profit.
Yep.
And when you're in radio and you're not-for-profit, you got to hustle for stuff, man, to make it work.
There was only 2 full-time employees when I was there, so I wore every hat that you can imagine in the radio station. So on air and behind the scenes. My official title was General Manager / Program Director, but it included everything.
And I'll also say that my old buddy Wayne Harrett was the guy that started that. May he rest in peace, good fella.
Great man.
So you're not there anymore?
No, I had to step down for a number of reasons, this being one, conflict of interest, according to the CRTC.
Yeah. And we love the CRTC because they help Canadians get paid, so we're on that. So, again, what are some of the reasons that you want to be mayor?
Yeah, my platform is online. Anybody can go look at it, murphyformayor.ca. Some of the things I highlight is housing, of course.
Yep.
That's a big thing on everybody's mind. Now, the city signed the agreement with the province to say that these are your responsibilities and these are ours. So housing falls under the provincial umbrella there. But there are things that the municipality can do to help alleviate some of the stress. One idea I have here is that we would give property tax breaks to landlords who prioritize affordable housing. Right now, affordable means 20% below market rate.
Right.
And although that's not a lot, it does hurt our landlords right now.
Right.
Okay. So if we incentivize affordable housing, they may be more likely to jump into it. Now, there's other things that we can do for people who don't rent. Lower property taxes. We've seen assessments skyrocket in these past few years. There should be incentives for those folks as well. Also on my list here, healthcare, another hot topic. Again, a provincial issue, but things the municipality can do to help. Sorry,
no, we're gonna do this
distracting. So if I lose my place, just a little bit distracted. But there's some things the municipality can do to help in terms of healthcare as well, assuming collaboration from the province. One of those things that I would propose is an opt-in extended healthcare benefits plan. So it wouldn't be taxpayer funded. This would be only on your own dime if you want this. So if your company that you work for, it doesn't have a group benefits plan, well, the municipality could have one. New York City has a great model of this. Toronto has a similar one. Vancouver has a similar one, but New York City has a great model. And because there's 10,000, 100,000 people in this group, then your rate drops lower than it would if it's just your family, just your small business of 3-4 people. When I was at the community radio station, we couldn't get benefits because there was only 2 of us. You need 3 to get benefits.
Right. Isn't that something?
It's incredible. Another thing that I would like to see happen is accessibility for our seniors. And what I mean by that, not necessarily ramps and things like that, although that's great, but our seniors are feeling left out of society right now because everything's online. There's no physical forms. There's an app for that. Everybody hears that term. Go on the app and fill that out.
Right.
Go on the website, fill that out. Well, during my time in community radio, we had a 50-50. And a lot of our listeners would call in, well, can I come by in person? I don't do e-transfer. I don't have an email. I don't have a computer. How can I participate? I realize there's an incredible population of seniors and other folks out there that don't want to deal with technology or can't afford technology, and they are feeling left out of society. So my proposed plan for that would be to have these physical forms at every community location. That could be a post office, it could be a community center, it could be your local library, although they do a great job already.
Right.
There's just not one in every community. So if there's physical forms at every post office, and maybe somebody there 1 day a week, 2 days a month that can be there to help fill out these forms for our seniors, it would really make a difference and allow them to participate in society, feel like they're still valued, and just be able to, not feel like they're pushed along the wayside or burdened anymore.
It sounds like you thought this out. And one of the things, today, I had a post. I kind of beat up on a news article. I don't know if you saw it, but CBC ran something, and basically what they did is they were highlighting all the candidates that were running for everything, so not just mayor but councillors.
Yep.
They had we'll call them the three well-known brand names, and they were in shiny letters, and then everybody else was da 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 da. Oh, and here's the other ones. And my line was, they were kind of being a little bit lazy because they weren't educating everybody as to who the candidates were. What are your thoughts on that? Because my thing is that if you're an incumbent, you automatically might have some money left over from the last time.
Yeah.
You're starting fresh.
Yeah, so there has also been news articles about these people who are running who have said, they could be using tax dollars for this campaign. I don't know a whole lot about that, but the CBC has posted that earlier this week. I believe that because they are promoting these brand names, if people don't educate themselves, we're going to be stuck with the same.
Yeah.
The same agenda that's passed on from what we're doing now. And it could be worse, could be better, who's to say, but we have a track record for these folks already. And we can say right now, well, the track record didn't work for me.
Sure.
It didn't improve my life at all. I had an interview with McDonald Notebook this morning, and he called me the dark horse, which is somebody who is outside of politics, but has a real shot at this. Very intertwined with the senior community, with the Muslim community, and with the arts community right now. What I'm hoping to do is get the youth out and educated. And by youth, I mean 45 below.
Sure.
I don't mean our 20-year-olds and our 30-year-olds, but everybody basically under 50. That's the youth vote. And I think I provide something for them that isn't already being said in this mainstream. There's a lot that is overshadowed, and CBC and the big conglomerate news organizations are, like you said, a little bit lazy on this, and they're just jumping on the brand names. Whereas also, as you said, if we educate our voters, the election could be a totally different result.
So 39% of the eligible population voted last time, which I keep making a joke in these interviews that, if you get that mark in school, you're going to summer school, right? That's a failing grade. That's not even close to a passing grade, right? That being said, the mayor's one vote around the table. Mm-hmm. So the mayor really has to quarterback an entire, from the outside looking in, potentially dysfunctional group of people. Yeah. They do good work, but I mean, essentially what it is you're the group of people that has to oversee staff. What are you going to do as mayor? Day one, how are you going to hit the ground running if you get in?
I mean, I'm used to working with a dysfunctional staff. We had 30 volunteers at our station, and volunteers and staff are a lot different. Yeah. I would say volunteers are a lot harder to coordinate, although I love them all. Yeah. It was hard to get them to get along.
Yeah,
so if I can do that with 30, I think I can do that with 16 of us.
So
a leader is somebody who inspires, and if we can inspire council and make them work together, our city can work for us.
That's a great point, because when they say leaders, elected official and leader to me are not the same thing, mm-hmm. right? And every time that they say leader and politician, they just, because you're a politician, you're a leader. That to me is not a thing. I was talking to a candidate today out in Bedford who got his info in, and it was told that it's not going to be posted on the site till the 19th of September, possibly a month away from when the election is. Wow. You hearing the same thing? Is it tough for the people that kind of, I guess, are lesser known?
Yeah, we're still in talks, but turned away from Meet Your Candidates event with the Chamber of Commerce.
Interesting. And I used to work there. That surprises me a little bit.
We're in talks right now. They told me there was not enough time for me, but I could come and sit in the audience. I shouldn't comment further on that.
No.
But very unfair right now because obviously they chose 3 brand names.
Yep.
And I have something real to offer and a real alternative, whereas these brand names are one and the same in my opinion.
So I'm doing this as I'm not trying to influence any particular way to vote or whatever. My role is to introduce the candidates, and my role is to get that 39% up, because 39% to me is not acceptable.
Feeling great.
However, what you're telling me, pardon me, doesn't strike me as fair, because you have a business group that I used to work for basically saying, okay, these are the 3 that we've decided are going to do something. So that to me kind of isn't fair. What would you say to people that, maybe were at those events that didn't get to see you?
Mm-hmm. Well, they can always reach out to me. All my contact info are on my brochures, my website, murphyformayor.ca. Reach out, read my platform. I have an article on all of these issues and more. I have a lot to offer. We need fresh ideas and real solutions, and not somebody who's going to make sure it's safe before they propose something. Right now we see a lot of focus groups out there. Before I make the decision, what does the public think? No, we need to make decisions. We need to have solutions before we go out there, and we need to stick with them.
So I was talking to somebody the other day. I used to run the Dartmouth Whalers Minor Hockey Association. I was on that board for 16 years, president twice, volunteers, about 1,200 families, well, between 900 and 1,200 families, depending upon the year. And my comment was, I'm essentially doing what a counselor would do, but I'm doing it as a volunteer. And they're like, no. But I am, because I'm taking phone calls at all hours of the night. I'm trying to get people to come over to my way of thinking, or the group's way of thinking. Are you getting any of that, like pushback? Like, hey, you know what, we don't know you, our vote's already cast?
No, everybody's very well receptive of my ideas so far. I haven't run into any roadblocks besides the being left out of the Meet Your Candidates. That's the roadblock I'm currently dealing with. I think if people took the time to read on the other candidates, myself and the others included, they would find that there's something for them that's outside of the brand names that you were talking about.
So everybody that I've talked to that isn't a brand name, and by that I mean they've either been in politics for some time or they've sat around the council table. So all the candidates that are running for mayor have thrown their hat in the ring because there's some reason or something. So one of the candidates, for example, couldn't get good transit to work. Another guy didn't like what's going on downtown with parking and that type of thing. Was there something that sparked you, or is there a few things?
There's a few things for sure. Those ones that you mentioned, absolutely. But also, I'm young. I want to start a family. I have a wife, and we can't seem to buy a house. And we don't want to bring a child into this world under these circumstances right now. I feel like it would be setting our child up for failure. So instead of complaining about it, I'm out here and I'm trying to make things work. I'm trying to change our city to make it work for us, and so that I can bring a child in unburdened by all of these extra things that come. Life has its struggles already. You may have heard me say this. Life has their struggles. We don't need our city to burden us with more.
So the late great comedian George Carlin had a bit where he talked about, they say if you don't vote, you don't have a say. And he would say, well, you know what? Don't vote, because then you're not the idiot that put them in there. To anybody that would take that attitude, that would basically say, I'm not going to bother going out because my vote doesn't matter, what would you say to them?
Well, if you vote for me and in 4 years I haven't improved your life, I'll step away. That'll be my promise.
Pretty powerful statement right there. How can my viewers, and from any given time I have as little as 5 and as many as 200 and some odd thousand, right? So we never know what we're going to get. But what would you say to my viewers that are saying, okay, you know what, Riley, I guess what you're saying sounds good, but why should I vote for you?
All right. I have real solutions. I have fresh ideas, and there's got to be something in my platform there for you. Whether it is improving our housing, our healthcare, transportation, accessibility for our seniors, help for small businesses, the list goes on. I'm not just talk. I have proven results in the nonprofit industry. And you can say, okay, well, you don't have experience in politics. Okay, well, the other people that do have experience, they have wrong experience. They have experience that brought us down to where we are today, and now we're clawing our way out.
So they're going to have a debate. And once again, I hear it's the top 3 that are invited and everybody else isn't. Any ideas about how you can capture the imagination of the voters out there when they're not going to be able to get to see you debate these folks?
I mean, I'd love to be on the debate stage, and I feel like just commenting after it's over isn't really going to help. Nobody's going to pay attention to that,
Sure.
or even remember. You know, social media goes by so quick. You have 3-second videos to keep your attention. So I'm hitting the pavement hard, and I hope that if you have any questions, you reach out. I'm on all social media again. And if you want to learn more, my website again, murphyformayor.ca. Capturing the attention is a hard thing to do, as you know.
Absolutely.
It takes a lot of just trial and error on social media and constantly hitting it hard. We have a small team, very, very supportive, and a lot of big names behind the scene that have given me their support. They're working their hardest to get the word out on me. And yeah, Riley Murphy, a name to remember. I've been heavily involved in the community for so many years, and during my time on community radio, that it helped me get my name out as well. So you can talk about brands with the politicians. I believe Riley Murphy is a brand.
And you know what? Brand is an important thing, and I like to think I have my own brand too. And some, you know, it can sound like you're bragging, but a brand is something that is recognizable to people. A brand is something that people will get behind. A brand is something that can influence. You're trying to do all those things, right?
Absolutely.
So, is it October 19th? Is that the?
That's final voting day. There is early electronic and telephone voting, and
Yep.
early in-person voting as well.
So I'm going to ask you two questions. October 19th, you get all the votes. You are going to be Mayor Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
What are your first 6 months going to look like?
I'll have a shovel in my hand fixing these roads. I'll be right there with the crews. I'm not going to sit behind my desk and delegate and order people around. You'll see me getting my hands dirty.
And should you not be the successful candidate, what would that look like for you?
We'll go back to the drawing table and see where it leads me. Again, incredible support behind me, and I'll find my place in this world one way or another, but I believe my true passion is helping our residents. I live the same struggles as you. I walk the same streets, and I have the same dreams as we all do. I'm going to be as honest and transparent as I can. I'm going to be held accountable, not only by you, but by God. And I will communicate with all of our residents. In fact, one of my ideas here is something I call Your Voice Matters, which they've done in Toronto and again in Vancouver, where they have not only town halls for different ideas, but also apps, website. You can call in and give your feedback, and that should translate into real-time results. You can see what your community is saying about these issues. So if there's something going on, a new development, and your community is saying no, you should be able to know that your community is not for this. And these results should impact our decision making in council.
So here's what I'm going to say, and I got to be impartial when I do this because, you know, I've done almost all the candidates. There's a few that kind of have lingered, but one of the things that I will say is a friend of yours reached out to me, and I said, you know, have Riley reach out to me. Mm-hmm. You did within probably 4 hours, and we set this up pretty quickly. Yep. So that to me tells me that you're interested. I know you a little bit, so I don't get the feeling that you're just, you know, you're going to get into the corner office with the rubber tree plant and close the door like, you know, it maybe has been done for a little bit. I happen to know our current mayor. I know him quite well, and, you know, he's done a great job. However, I think it is time for a new thing, and he's recognized that. So this is your elevator pitch, my friend. This is your 15 seconds where you can encapsulate the audience. You're going to tell them.
If you're tired of our city standards declining, if you're tired of the same stagnant city that we have, and you want fresh ideas, you want something that's not just the status quo, you want real change for your city and something that will impact your life in a positive way, vote Murphy for mayor on October 19th, and let's make HRM work for us.
Couldn't have said it any better. I want to thank you so much for doing this, man. We're at Monty's. Riley Murphy, one of your candidates. We're back after this.